Stan Gibilisco here. A little book review for you. The title of the book is The Long Ships by Frans G. Bengtsson. Well, you might get the idea that this was written by somebody in Europe somewhere, like maybe one of the Scandinavian countries, like maybe having something to do with the Vikings. Not the Minnesota Vikings, but the Vikings who were the adventurers in the days of old, almost 1,000 years ago. This is on my Kindle Fire. And I read this book some time ago. It was recommended by my editor at McGraw-Hill, who gets into these kinds of adventure tales. And it's really something to get your mind off your daily problems. It's cool because, well, here you've got the table of contents, and you can just hit this and immediately go to wherever you left off or wherever you want to start. And it's interesting the style of writing as it translates from the Swedish. The one thing that there are two things that this book instills in me. One is a longing for adventure, and a longing in particular for the enthusiasm that I had for adventure when I was younger, which seems to have ebbed away from me in recent years. Maybe you're the same way. Maybe this will kind of bring you back to that. The other thing is that it really gives me an appetite for some of the food that they eat. But it goes on kind of, listen to this. Then all the guests trooped out of the church to see the Smelanders baptized in the river. Austin and his 2 men were led from the bathhouse and were made to wade a short way into the water. And they talk about all this stuff with a certain kind of... They endured all this with no sign of expression in their faces, as though they were scarcely aware of Father Willibald's presence or of what he was doing to them, and as though the spectators on the banks did not exist at all. They were being baptized, these pagans. And the way that the author writes these things, he writes everything with a never-failing sense of humor, even in the face of death. And I just find that immensely entertaining. The name of the book, again, is The Long Ships. And I would strongly recommend that you get it on your Kindle Fire. These electronic books for plain text like this, it's really good reading, easy reading. And until the battery dies, then maybe sometimes you wish you had the paper version instead. But it's still, it doesn't take that long to recharge the battery. And you just don't let it get down that low, you know what I'm saying? You just don't let the battery get all the way down. You keep an eye on those things. It becomes a habit. So, all of this stuff, and I believe that this also has some stuff, as I remember, about this Bluetooth, this king named Bluetooth. That's what this communications medium is named after. Why? I have no clue. Bluetooth refers to the fact that he had a horrible toothache. Like blue nub. Have you ever had headaches like that, where your headache was like, you could just imagine it, your whole head being blue, or your whole tooth being blue? The life of evil men is often long, but it is not so long as the arm of God. They shall not escape his vengeance. Is that so? Stan Gibilisco signing off. You challenged a priest, and that was the least, for he toppled you into the mud, King Sven. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.